What's happening, YouTube? Caliber here, and we're here to do another 7 Deadly Sins video, and we're going to be doing this video on farming and how I've been doing my farming. So hopefully this video helps you guys out. I'm going to throw a few little things in here, little tips and tricks that I have learned along the way. So let's just hop right in here. Also, don't forget to follow me on the banner above here. If you guys want to stop by, I stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, 6 a.m. Central Standard Time to 12 p.m. noon. If you guys have any questions on the game or any questions on the video, you're more than welcome to stop by and ask me live if you want, or you can ask me in the comments below. Either or works for me. I look forward to seeing you guys either way, and let's hop into this video. All right, so let's talk about farming and what you should be doing with your characters to help you have a better AoE success at farming. All right, so AoE farmers, guys, let's talk about them. Let's talk about what I'm doing. Let's talk about gear. Let's talk about stats and all that good stuff and what characters you should be using. So this is the team I'm currently using right now. Now, one thing I'm going to point out, Arthur right here, I would definitely be replacing him in the future. I would like to pick up somebody else as a sub, but we'll talk about that later. All right, so let's start off with Hauser here, guys. Hauser is just a beast AoE farmer. This dude can hit like a truck, and all three of his abilities are AoE, which makes him pretty unstoppable. Going into his S1 here, he's going to end up doing pierce damage equal to 100% attack on all enemies. Pierce, 3 times pierce rate increase when he does this. All right, so this can go all the way up to 250% if your cards happen to land right on auto farming. All right, his second skill here is sever, damage equal to 100% of all attack on all enemies. Sever, 2 times crit rate increase. And his last ability inflicts damage equal to 350% of attack on all enemies, decreasing skill ranks, then depleting the ultimate move gauge by a number of skill ranks decreased. This is just a freaking boss move here. It does so much damage. And then he has a sexy passive here. Increase human allies' basic stats by 8%. As you can see here, guys, I'm running a 4-piece attack with a 2-piece defense. So one thing I do need to change out, I do need to get him an SSR defensive belt. I have yet to get him one yet. I'm kind of slacking on that. I did a whole bunch of farming on there and didn't get him one. Well, I didn't get enough for all my characters that I wanted, but he's next on the list to get one. When you're talking about skills in here, guys, you got different stats you can roll on. One of the stats you want to roll on is definitely pierce rating. You're going to do a lot more damage with pierce rating. Pierce rating is really good for your AoE farmers. As you can see here, I lined up a whole bunch of pierce rating here, 16.7%. I did keep attack 2.8%, but that's not because it rolled high attack. Until I get these pierce rates maxed out, that attack's just gonna stay there. Then you want to go over to his ring. You want to do a little his earrings. You want to do a little bit of defense on those. Get that defense nice and maxed out on those. And then you also, on these here, you want to work on maxing out hit point substats, percentage stats on there, and making sure you re-roll this until the hit points are pretty high to make them super tanky and super survivable. Now we have the Holy Knight Weinheit. Man, this dude is an absolute monster, man. I threw him on my team, and boy, did I see the difference right away. My original team, when I first started off, because I've been playing around with Hauser straight from the get-go, he was one of my first characters I leveled up, and Green Elizabeth. I was running that team for the longest time. I threw in Gil Thunder for a little attack buff, and it did okay. I liked it. Then I threw this guy in there, and I was like, holy moly, this guy is definitely adding a little bit more deeps to the table, and I'm clearing stuff a whole lot quicker. And this guy is just a must keep on your team. One thing I'm going to point out on him, his passive here, increase all allies pierce rate by 8% at the end of the turn, limit up to 5 times. 5 times 8 is 40% pierce rate, man. Whew, good. That's some good stuff. So now you got Hauser and you got Weinheit, man. Both of them, their passive stack, beautiful. All right, moving into his skills here, guys. As his skills level up, he has a chance to disable attacks skills for 2 turns with 180% attack. That's huge. Sometimes you immobilize the enemies you're attacking. It's definitely worth having. And then you going into this one here on his second skill, inflict damage to 120% attack on all enemies. You can also remove stances for all enemies, inflict damage equal to 120%, and disable stance skills for 1 turn. This is super huge because if anybody took a stance like Meliodas or something like that, not saying you're going to be farming up Meliodas, but if somebody takes a stance like that, you're definitely going to be able to disable them with this. And then moving into his final skill here, this is what I call the boss buster here. You know, sometimes by the time you've done a little bit of clearing on the ads, this is up, and then boom, he targets the boss and the boss is dead. I love this ability. It's very satisfying to watch the boss monsters just get absolutely destroyed by this if they happen to be the right element and he targets them first. Whew, so good, so good. All right, with equipment here, as you can see here, we're running attack and defense set here. Now, one thing I will point out again, this defense set needs to be changed out to a better defense set. Matter of fact, I actually have an upgrade piece here I didn't realize. But you definitely need to be changing those out to SSR. Go farm them up in chapter 2, along with the SSR bracer. Farm that up in chapter 1. These commons you can buy from chapter 1 in the shop. Some people choose to do this in a different way than I did. Some people choose to do defense over here and then attack all through here. It is what it is. It all comes out the same however you choose to farm it. I just happen to go this route, and since I went this route, this is the way I'm going. One thing I will point out, I did aim for pierce rate on him. I'm aiming for more pierce rate on him. I ended up rolling a freaking sweet 3% attack on there. Go figure. I guess that's just going to hang out there for a while. And then as far as this goes, I haven't been able to put a stat in there, but I'm going to aim for pierce. Then I'm going to go defense and hit points on this guy. I've also been running Gil Thunder, playing around with him, seeing how fast he goes. And he does pretty good. I haven't clocked any speed yet, who's faster, Elizabeth or him. But I got them both in pretty decent gear. I think Elizabeth is probably in a little bit better shape than him. But they both have been solid units. One thing is, Gil Thunder's passive doesn't stack with anybody. It's a PvP passive. Green Elizabeth here. She is definitely pretty good. She goes in there for a defense break. She has an AoE attack skill. And she also has a great boss buster ultimate. Gil Thunder there, attack buff, AoE attack. And then he goes in for a boss buster skill. It's a real toss up. And you know what? I think we're going to time it and see. All right, so one thing I do want to point out when you are going into auto, I know a lot of people do not know this from my streams. I pointed this out and a lot of people are like, oh, so I want to make sure you guys know this is what you can do. There's a lot of features in this game that make autoing a great feature. All right, one, you can click on this gear cog right here. You can add no restrictions. You can do a count of whatever. It tells you how much stamina you're going to be using with however many runs you choose to do here. It says right here that I'm going to use 315 stamina with 45 runs. If I want to use stamina potions, I click that. You have options in here to run whatever you want, however much you want. Some more quality of life stuff is here in the menu, guys. You go to the menu, you go into game settings, okay? Turn your play speed up to ultra. All right, go to power save mode, 30 seconds. So after 30 seconds of starting, you can have your tablet, your phone, maybe your BlueStacks, your emulator, whatever you're running, sit in there. 30 seconds in, it's going to kick the power saving mode. You really don't need that for emulators though, but hey, you can turn off that power save mode on your emulator. But with your phone and stuff like that, it's definitely going to save on your battery. It's going to allow you to leave your tablet plugged in all night long. Without the battery draining super quick on you and doing that. Then you're going to go down here, guys, and you're going to skip all animations to make it quicker. Just quicker skip animations goes a long way. I also like to skip animations moving to a village. That's pretty handy too. Doesn't help with auto farm, but hey, that's some quality of life stuff there. You know what I mean? While we're waiting to see which one of these is faster, the character I want to talk about here is Fairy Hellbrown, man. This guy has a passive, heals 100% of defense when the hero's hit points reach 0 once per battle, which makes him super survivable. He also has an S1 here, inflicts damage equal to 72% of attack to all enemies and then poisons for 3 turns. It does ramp up to a little bit more damage, but nothing too and crazy, like 180% damage with more poison. But that poison is going to do a little bit of work. He also has a 3-step ability for increased attack related stats of all allies by 15% for 2 turns. That can actually go up to a 30%. And then his S3 here cancels buffs and stances on all enemies and inflicts damage equal to 280% of attack. Now, I have been extremely curious about running him in this comp, guys. And I hope I get the opportunity to do that sometime very soon. Because I really like the idea of running this guy. I think he would be really good. But so far, I feel like Gil Thunder's better. Who's going to be the winner out of this match here? All right, so this is my Gil Thunder that we ran on that right side, guys, which Gil Thunder lost. I actually thought he was going to win by a little bit, but like, again, his passive doesn't help anybody. He does an attack buff. He does an AoE attack, and he also does a tank buster ability there. His equipment that I'm running on him is a attack with a defensive set on there. Not 100% where I'd want it to be, but it's still pretty decent. All right, then we got Ellie Hawk here, guys. We're rocking, you know, she has a little bit more attack than what Gil had. Going for a little bit of defense, a little bit of AoE damage. This one right here is going to stack with the pierce rate though. So I do feel like that's pretty powerful. Considering that it does go with the pierce rate with the rest of the team. The synergy is there. Her passive does stack with the rest of the team though, giving her 10% hit points. Unfortunately, she doesn't get the passive from Hauser or Weinhardt. I'm also running her on an attack set and then a defense set. I am running attack substats on her. I do plan on moving her over to piercing substats and piercing substats on this bracer also, hopefully, if I can roll that. But that's currently the plans for her. I'm pretty sure I'm going to be subbing her in and place a Gil full time, just for I can move Gil's gear over to somebody else. It's going to free up a slot and give me a little bit more flexibility. As far as passives, I am running Arthur here for human allies hit point related statuses, just to make them a little bit more thicker, a little bit more survivable. All right, so few characters that might be worth using for their passives. You got an R character down here that hit point attributed allies attack related statuses by 10%, which could help out Ellie Hawk a little bit. I guess that's okay. There's not a whole lot out there that just absolutely just jump out there and say, oh my gosh, this is great. That's why Arthur's pretty decent out there with the hit point related stats by 15%, making things a little bit more tankier. So if you guys have ever also started a battle here and you're in the middle of it and you're like, hey, I actually meant to put this on full auto, you actually have a couple options up here. See right here, it says 1 of 23. You can click that. It puts you on auto mode again, where you can just repeat auto. And you have control of your auto here, which is a very cool feature. I was trying to cover all the bases I could for a good AoE farm team, to try to help you guys get on track for AoE farming, guys. With that being said, have a good one. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on those notifications. And I will see you guys in the next video. You guys have a great day.